Here's a video to walk you through how to reset a user's default criteria values. So to do this, we'll need to log in as the client admin for your account. And I've done that here. I've logged in as the client admin for one of our demo accounts. And when you first log in, you'll be taken to your dashboard. But we'll need to go over to the users section so that we can complete this process. I'm going to go over to our left-hand navigation bar here. I'm going to click on users. So when the page initially loads, it's going to load a listing of all of the internal users that are currently enabled in our account. So an internal user is any user that works for your company, and there's another type of user in Ops Insights called an external user. And an external user is any user that works with your company in some fashion, whether that's an abstract vendor, a notary vendor, anything along those lines, a client, perhaps an investor. So it's some firm, individual entity that works with your company, but they're not employed by your company. And it's important that we make that designation because external users are not going to have as many features as an internal user would. So external users can essentially see their dashboard, and they'll be able to receive emailed reports, which we refer to as automated deliveries, whereas an internal user is going to be able to see all of the reports in your report library. They'll be able to request access to them if they don't have access to them, and they'll also be able to request custom reports. So what we're going to do here is we're going to reset a user's default criteria values. And if we did need to do that for an external user, we would just need to toggle the show external user switch over to yes. And when you do that, the external users will be displayed with your internal users. And we can quickly and easily see the external users because of this external tag that appears to the right of their name. So these are the external users, and these will be our internal users. So a little bit of backstory about why we would need to reset a user's default criteria values. So in Ops Insights, there are 3 levels of criteria. There is a global level, a role level, and a user level. So global level criteria is set by the Ops Insights staff, and these values are applied or used if you are previewing reports in your report library and that report is not assigned to an access role. So that's the first level or the highest level of default criteria that's available. Next, there's a role level criteria. So anytime you, as the client admin user, you assign a report to a role, you set role level default values for that specific role. So that's the second highest level. So that takes priority or precedence over the global level. So if you're viewing a report on your dashboard, or if you're viewing a report in the report library and you've selected a specific role, that report will always load with those specific role level default values that you've selected. Finally, there's user level. So when users are assigned to a role, they'll have the ability to go in and change and save default criteria values. Let's say, for instance, they wanted to see files that are assigned to a current file status, or they wanted to see files for a specific client only, or if they wanted to omit specific files using different criteria values, they can do that, and they can save those values on a user level. But there is a downside. Sometimes users can inadvertently save default values, or they can just save values and it's always stuck on the report always loads for a specific client only. And they needed to reset it, or there's always a discrepancy between what you see versus what another person sees, even though you're using the same report that's assigned to the exact same role. So to do this, to kind of plumb things up or get everything back on an even level, you would just need to reset a user's level default criteria values and set it back, remove those selections and set it back so that when they load their dashboard, they're seeing what you, the client admin, have selected or locked in on a role level. So to do this, all you need to do is find the user in question and click on their name. And when you do that, a window will appear. We can see that we can update their status. We can update their contact info. We can update any roles that are assigned to their user. But what we're going to do is we're going to click on Reset User Criteria Values. And when you do that, a confirmation window is going to appear, and it's going to tell you, hey, when you do this, it's going to reset all the values that they've selected for each of these roles, for all the reports that are assigned to these roles. And we just need to confirm that that's what we want to do. So we're going to do that. And now it's complete. So when this user, the accounting manager, logs in next time, all of their user level values that were previously there will have been removed, and they'll now see what the role level values that have been selected for each of those reports. Now, I know that's a lot of information and a quick explanation about how the criteria levels work and default values. But the main purpose of this video is just to show you how to do that. If you do have additional questions about criteria, role level criteria, global level criteria, user level criteria, anything along those lines, see the criteria section of our client doc site. Or if you do have questions above and beyond that, or just need further explanation regarding criteria and the levels, reach out to our support team, support@opsinsights.com. Thanks. We look forward to hearing from you.